doesn't look like apple juice. It looked like whiskey.
You know, it's okay for you to be drinking whiskey while you get your hair cut. Probably even a good idea.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, that way, you know, when you do lose an ear, you're like, oh, wait, was that my ear? I thought that was a potato chip.
Why don't you tell me the story about the night you opened for...
Clean head, Vincent?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story because the band at that time was a five-piece band with just Noel Couture on the saxophone and Liz Fisher on the keyboards, Robert Higgins, myself and Ron Torbenson on the bass guitar. And I was playing alto saxophone, so at this time I was trying to play alto saxophone, we say this. And so somehow we end up getting this opportunity to open up for Clean Head Vincent at it's a place on the water, not Bach Dancing and Dynamite Society, but in Half Moon Bay. I can't remember the name of this place right now, but beautiful place, right on the water. So you know, I told the band, hey, listen, you know, because I was familiar with most of his stuff that he did in his live set. I heard the records with, I mean, just, I had listened to him for a long time. And so when we got there, the guy that booked the gig takes me in this room and he hands me this stack of music. It's like a pile of music like this. And he goes, you guys think you know this music? And I'm like, well, I know that I know the songs that he's been playing in his sets lately. I wouldn't say that my band can read these charts, but I'm pretty sure we can play what he needs to play. So, and then Clean Head comes in there, and he's got like his blue pinstripe suit on. He's like, looks beautiful. He's fantastic. And then he goes, well, yeah, you know, and so he asked me about it, and I said, you know, I love most of the stuff like, you know, Hold It Right There, just things that he's done in live performances. And so he's looking at me like, okay, and then the guys at the club definitely are not buying it. They don't believe that I even know what I'm talking about. So, and then we do our first set because it's time to play. So we do our first set, and Clean Head comes and listens to what we're doing. And he likes it. I mean, immediately he likes it, and he seems happy. But me being like a kid that has not even a map to a clue, I do Kidney Stew in my set. Because I have my alto there, and that's the song I play. So I play Kidney Stew, you know. And he didn't kill me. He didn't even blink. He did not even blink. He stood right there and listened to it and liked it.
Is that like his big hit at the time?
Well, it's one of his tunes that he's known to do. Okay, all I need to do is put like a thing on my head and do Clean Head Blues, and pretty much I would have, you know, taken a lot of the play. With Stupid Kid, but I just wasn't even thinking that. So he was beautiful, right? He didn't even blink, and the guys in the club didn't even know that I had done that. So it was like, you know, they were trying to be very strict and stuff, but they didn't even know what was happening, and he did, and he didn't even blink. And so then on the break, we talked, and he let us take pictures. He liked the band, and he came to me and said, we're going to really have fun. We're just going to play the blues. It'll be fun. So we went outside, and it was like a full moon, and it was on the beach. And he had like his blue pinstripe suit. And I was just, you know, I mean, I was so taken back by the fact that this is Clean Head Vincent. And like, not only are we like opening up, but now we're like going out and he goes, do I want to have a smoke? And I'm like, I don't smoke. And then he took out like a reefer.
Tyrone, hey, Ty, shh.
He took like a reefer out, like it had like,
over here.
he yellow wheat straw papers, and it was like out of a Pall Mall pack. And already he had shown that he drank Scotch and milk, which is like my dad's favorite drink all my life. That's what my dad drank, Scotch and milk, which sounds like it would be something he would do to make cheese. But my dad drank Scotch and milk, loved it, and this is what Clean Head drank. So I was already blown up by that. But then we went and smoked the pot, and we were talking about the record that he made with Cannonball and their band, where he did a bunch of great songs, and it was just like a dream come true. So then we played the set after this, and he played Kidney Stew and everything, but it was like
he played it, even though you had played it earlier?
Oh yeah, he didn't even say a word. He was so sweet about this. I mean, it took me till I was like in my 40s or 30s to just God rolls a highlight clip of something, and you go, oh my God, I was such a moron right there. And it's like in high def and stuff. But that was like one of those kind of things where I didn't even realize then, but years later it was like it came to me like in a highlight reel, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe he didn't take me on the beach and stab me or something. But he was so precious, and he took pictures with all the band. He really had a great time, and it was like a person that I felt like I know, because I always would listen to him doing Clean Head Blues and seeing it with Johnny Otis show, and so I felt like it was like a family member. And then to actually play on the bill and be the backup band and have him treat us like he was really thrilled that he was playing with us. I mean, the pictures speak for themselves, because I mean, he just looks so happy, and he's got his arm around everybody, and everybody's just thrilled.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like he would do these things behind his back to the band, 2 fingers up, which means 2 flats or 2 sharps or something. But the band would look at me, because the thing was, look at Cain if you don't know what's happening. So they would look at me, and I would be like, B flat or whatever the key is, because I didn't know what the finger signs were, but I knew what the key was, and I knew that had to be what it was. But I have the tape of both sets, and it's just a special night, because I love Clean Head Vincent to my soul.
Did you ever get to see him again?
No, but the beautiful thing was that he said his wife, his name was Bernice, and they sent Christmas cards twice.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. Same thing happened with Jimmy Smith and his wife Lola. That was but I mean, it's like being a kid living at your parents' house at 35 now. But whatever the age was, I was at that time, and get these Christmas cards from people at my parents' house I knew.
So what did he talk to you about on the beach?
Well, I just kept on talking about these things that I love, like the record that he did with Cannonball on, I can't remember what the label was at the time. It might have been the same label that Nancy Wilson's record was on with Cannonball, but Capitol could have been. It was just a great record, and I didn't know. I mean, I thought, I knew that Clean Head did Hold It Right There, and Kidney Stew, and Clean Head's Blues, and he played this beautiful blues alto, but I really was not familiar with his bop kind of things. And I saw him at Keystone Corner with Fathead Newman and Clean Head Vincent, and the poster was Keystone Gives Good Head. I had the poster. I had the poster. I swear to God, but Fathead.
That was pretty risque.
Yeah, and Fathead Newman came out and played a set with these New York guys that I guess he made a record with on Atlantic, and it was amazing stuff. And I thought, man, what is Clean Head gonna play? I mean, beyond Kidney Stew stuff, this stuff is so deep, and I mean, it's just. And I should have known better, and then Clean Head came out and played all the things that he had written that I was not familiar with, that were these bop, beautiful things, Arriving Soon, these tunes and what, and just killed. And then they both played together at the end. It's a fantastic night. But Cleanhead Vincent is a guy that like totally blew my mind. There's another guy that I think of when I think of Cleanhead. There's a jazz guy named Sonny Stitt that's like a fantastic saxophone player. And when I went to a gig where Sonny Stitt was playing at Keystone Corner, it was Sonny Stitt with Bobby Hutcherson and some fellas, and it was fantastic. And Sonny Stitt saw me standing there looking at him. He goes, "Don't be afraid. Come here. Do you play saxophone?" And I go, "No, I play guitar." And he goes, "How many frets on a guitar?" And I just looked like this for a minute. I just looked like, and he goes, "Oh, you don't play guitar." And it was like, I just barely looked like, how many? And he was like, "No, you don't play guitar." And I thought, that's old school stuff right there. It's like, it's just like.
So how many frets on a guitar?
There's got to be 22 or 23.
You don't play guitar.
Yeah, I own one. I swear to God. Got me, I was just like, oh my God. So, one of the evenings in my life that I was just like, wow. And Sonny Stitt was so incredible. And like Cleanhead Vincent was that kind of player. It was like he was such a virtuoso, could play in that vernacular. Like, I just thought he was only the blues things that I had heard.
What year was that?
When I opened up this thing and did it, it's got to be like 1988 or 89, somewhere like that, because it was before Mark Whitney was in the band, and so it was still a 5-piece band, and
You said Noel Couture was.
yeah, Noel was there from the beginning, and at this point,
Liz?
Yeah, Liz Fisher, great pianist.
And who did she end up playing with?
Johnny Hooker.
Oh, right.
I know everybody ended up playing with somebody, and I just ended up playing with myself. But yeah, no, it's like a wonderful thing that those particular that era of my band was a great era because
Tell me a little bit about Robert Higgins.
well,
Because he's not with us anymore, so I never met him.
I'll tell you, like Robert Higgins, basically, he's the guy that taught me how to live on the road, how to be a band that travels on the road, what you do when you are like on the road, like you go to baseball games on your day off, you do fun stuff. It was like Hig was like he had these two cymbals that were both broken. They were ride cymbals, but like eventually they would break, and like they would be broken. So he would take two of them and he would put them upside down from each other, and he called it the ghetto cymbal. And it was like he was over here in the corner, and he'd get on the ghettos and he'd start banging these things, like when it got really good. And pieces of brass would go flying by your face and eyes and nose. It was shrapnel, like being in a war. It was like pieces of brass, and it was like he was like the guy that like kept it. I mean, my band was like a 5-piece band, and in the days when we traveled, when we would stop at a gas station, everybody would take out $5 and buy gas. And when I say that to people now, they look at me like I'm making up some kind of tale. But that's how far back that goes, where the whole band would pay for gas. I mean, it was like that was the kind of band my band was at that time. It was 5 pieces, and they played their guts out always. Like, and in these days, there would be maybe 7 people. Maybe if there was 13 people in the room, I felt it was a great crowd. And
13.
because that's just the way it was then. And we were like basically had a record out then. I made a record on Blind Pig, so we were traveling, but we were favorites with the bartenders that like worked there, and we would go back because we were fun. And Hig was basically the way that we learned how to be fun on the road. I mean, it was like I say this now, and it's like it sounds crazy to say, but even when we had like Dave Rampley in the band, so we had like, we didn't have a keyboard player, we had David Rampley, he was great, one of the great guitar players I've ever heard. But he had an organ synthesizer patch, first guitar synthesizers, Roland did, and so he tried to play B3. He didn't try, he did. He played organ on the guitar, and it was like, but we were out there traveling, and I mean, there was like very small crowds and things. And guys would drive for long periods of time, very long time, to the next stop. And he would say, Chrissy, I could get us to like Kansas City if I could just get a 6-pack. And I'd be like, get him some beer! I mean, you hear that now, you think, oh my God, people would be like, stop the car! But that's the way it was back then. And it was like, he was right. And he would get us to Kansas City like ahead of schedule with a couple of cold ones. And shit, the people in the Highway Patrol Police, that's 1989, okay, so since then. We have a, quality control. But back then, that's what it was.
I've heard you refer to him as your spiritual advisor.
Spiritual advisor, cut man, and trainer. Because, when Boxer has his thing, goes, this is my cut man and trainer, Freddie Pacheco, Vinny Angelino, or whoever it is. That was just a thing like that. But, I mean, I learned how to run. I didn't really run my band. I just, would try to keep up with it. But he was the guy that showed me how to go on the road and actually enjoy driving for 12 hours and then having to go and play immediately. How you make that fun somehow.
Yeah.
And I saw guys that were very serious and they weren't really having a lot of fun, but they did it really well. But we were kind of like the Who if it was 5 pieces. We were, kind of wild. And I at that time, I thought of it as being wild. It was just how you enjoy working that hard on trying to just make the dates and what happens while you're doing it. And it really made it much better, I feel, for me. I mean, it got to the point where, sometimes you had to kind of ratchet it back a few clicks because, we get a little nutty. But I think if I would have just been doing it not going to the Big Texan, there's a place called the Big Texan where you go, and if you eat the 72-ounce steak, you get it for free. Of course, then you go to the car and die. But and there was
72 ounces.
And there were some 11-year-old kids that actually got their free steak.
That's 60 ounces more than.
Is that really? I didn't know what the thing was, but it was funny because it was a big building, the Big Texan. You'd see the signs. We went there. This place was tailor-made for my band. It was they served you these beers in this giant aquarium. It was it was Miller or something, but it was in this big frozen fish bowl. It was fantastic. And then guys that looked like they just came from rawhide would come to your table with guns on and start singing songs. And Robert Higgins, started going, hey my man, thanks, no, we're good. And I go, hey, the guy's got a gun on, let him blow. You know what I mean? If a guy's got a gun on, you don't tell him, yeah, no, we're good. You let him sing his heart out.
It's probably a very good philosophy.
That's the way I felt about it.
Yeah.
I said, hey, the guy's packing heat, let him blow. You know what I mean? It's the thing.
Do you want the shorter in front?
Well, how do we make it where it doesn't look like the guy from Doctor Strange from whatever it was?
So you want it shorter in front?
Yeah, maybe. Thank you. However you do it, that makes it nice. I'm very lucky. Because she cuts it when it's dry. First time she did that, I stained my animals because I thought, oh my God, what's she gonna do? I mean, I've been to haircuts before where I got a haircut at one place and I had to go to a haircut at another place to fix what that guy did at the last hair place. And I went to 3 different haircuts, and by the time I got done, I looked like the Latino Dutch boy paints guy. I mean, it's like they did some things to me that was, I was, Dutch boy but darker.
You were a very handsome man.
In this mirror, because it's got a lot of fingerprints on it. Thank you, my love.
Would you like a sip of your
Yeah, that's good.
apple juice?
It's a wonderful apple juice. What is that? Treetop? Something like that. I want to get my bangs in the beverage. It's a fantastic. Wow, huh? Thank you, hon. Yeah, that other haircut, it was kind of like looking a little bit like the not a little bit, it looked a lot like the Unabomber. I was thinking, wow.
Well, the Unabomber's always wearing a hooded sweatshirt.
No, but there are pictures of him at the, holding facility where he's explaining his letters to, people that are just enraptured with the story. And I'm telling you right now, I saw Al Cooper when we played it, and he had a hood on, and I thought it was the Unabomber, but he was pissed because we were playing the Bloomfield piece, note for note, and
I love the way you have this.
you like that?
Yeah, I do.
Pepe Le Pew also had that. He also had a scent.
Dripping sweat. I don't know if it's because I'm so scared I'll do something wrong or if it's just so stinking hot. It's 90, what did I say, 93?
Oh, no, it's 152 or something. Have you ever seen a hummingbird pray? Just fantastic, huh? Thank you. We're closing in, huh?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Wonderful. Me. Thank you, my love.
Do you want me to shave this part?
I guess that's something important. Huh?
Okay. I'll do that after I turn the camera off.
Yes, okay, thanks.